no horse. God damn it. Oh, hell, start looking through these bodies, Pete. Let's see if we can get ourselves some gold.
Well, you find five knives, and you also find 5 of these mini rifles. They all had mini rifles. There's 5 French uniforms, and there's 2 rounds in the rifles that weren't used, and then there's another 8 rounds on the corpses. On the horses were another 40 rounds in their saddle, but that's all gone. So.
What kind of rounds are on the bodies?
I don't know. Let's see what kind of rifle. This is a mini rifle, so you'll have to look that up in the library and let me know. You should be able to go to the. It'll tell you what type of ammo. Probably just standard rifle ammo.
Which is 45 caliber.
You just open up the library, bottom right hand side.
Yeah, I have nothing in there.
You have to click the modules, open the modules.
Right click.
You should okay.
Then you have to allow Windows to run it as an admin, and then say yes when it says this is going to put a virus on your PC.
We'll say that there's about I think there's six rounds of there would be 6 rounds of ammo, but you have 5 mini rifles, French mini rifles at that. They have uniforms and they really don't have any kind of any money, but on the leader that you were talking to, it did he did have some orders written. Looked like there was a couple stamps on it, but you really can't read it. It's
can
in
any of you
French.
speak French?
In the weapons table, they don't have a mini rifle. They have several rifles. Well, you could pick one with a small caliber if you like.
Yeah.
Well, Pappy, being the marksman of the group, just takes a look at these mini rifles, and I'll just throw it into the dirt.
These rifles are shit. I would never use these darn rifles. They take 2 shots. Then you gotta go after bastards with a knife. It ain't worth it. You need yourself a rifle that can carry lots of bullets. Because the idea is bullets come out really fast. You're really far away.
I agree. I totally agree. That's right, Pappy.
These damn Frenchies, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're still stuck in the time of the Revolution. So, yeah, these are basically just garbage.
Yeah, they're also in the weapons table. There's no weapons that only have 2 shots other than the Derringer and the dagger pistol.
Yeah, I even looked at the Deadlands Reloaded.
Pappy, they must be shooting and then having some tea
They're custom
and then
made.
get ready to shoot again.
I would imagine they would be something like probably like I would say something like probably like a cartridge type from the Civil War with the sort of like the powder, the ball, everything in one of those little cartridges that you would just shove in. I think that's probably what those are.
That could be used in another gun on the guns.
No.
Well, I'd be putting on one of these here Frenchy uniforms, but they all got blood on them.
Yeah, you can take one of the hats. There's still 5 hats too.
I don't know how to get caught with the.
Couple of the guys have medals on there. Medals, some have a couple medals.
What kind of medals?
Look like some type of medal of distinction. You're not too sure what it says, but
so being I'm gonna rip that medal off that guy. I'm gonna put it on me. I'm gonna go.
Hey, y'all! Look, I'm a war hero. This means I ain't never been killed.
All of a sudden, Pappy takes a shot between the eyes. Let me roll this to hit. No, I'm just kidding. From the French Foreign Legion sniper that was on top of the mountain a mile away.
Pappy, look at that dead body. You think they look like war heroes?
Oh, hell no. I'm going to go ahead and bite down on these medals, Dave. Any of them comprised... I'm going to use my palette.
Do you have any teeth left, Pappy?
I got 1 tooth left. His name's Chopper. Ain't nothing left but old Chopper. I'll bite down a little bit. What kind of metal are we talking about? Mostly zinc?
No, you think this is probably a silver medal, some type of silver medal of distinction. Well, like I said, there's a couple medals. A couple of them are just metal garbage, but there's one actually. I think it's probably silver.
Right, I take the silver medal and examine it for a while, and then I go, "Yee-haw!" and I show it up to Pistol Pete, and I wiggle it in his face. Woo-hoo-hoo! Jackpot! I'm gonna melt this bastard down later. And remember, I have my smelter that I always carry along with me. No, I'm just joking. I don't know how to melt down silver in real life, but I'll figure out later. But I will pocket this here silver medal. It's gonna be mine.
Better get that out of my face, Pappy, and share that with me later.
I'll give you 1/3 after I boil this puppy down. Once we smelt this and get rid of this French stink off of it.
Oh my God!
Yeah, pissed off Pete looks at his fingers and 1/3. You got a deal.
All right. I'm gonna add
1/3
that to my equipment.
Yeah, just put French Foreign Legion medal, and then you can put like $5. It's probably worth like $5. All right, so the Legionnaires have been basically distinguished. Tomoka, he's in a sort of like a meditating state up against praying to the spirits and thanking him for giving him the strength to fight the white man. You hear him kind of fumble out white man a couple times. So what do you guys want to do with these bodies? I mean, it's up to you. You guys tell me what you guys are going to do. It's now daylight out now.
In the meantime, I'm going to be cranking up a wind-up on the back of my wristband.
All right, I like it. I like that. That was a good job on that. I really like that.
I like the idea that you turn your spells into a gizmo.
Yeah. Yep.
I can actually give the gizmo to other people and they can use it, or it becomes a thing that casts the power. It's cool.
That's the great thing about Savage Worlds, because in every type of setting there's always some type of shield magic, there's always some type of attack magic, bolt, and that's why they give you the trappings for you to really give the identification. Yeah, exactly. You rename it whatever you want.
The mechanics are the same.
Exactly. That's what I like about it. That's what I really like about it. One guy said, I remember reading on the forums, how comes there's no MILF's Acid Arrow, dude? Well, first off, MILF's Acid Arrow is probably copyrighted by Wizards of the Coast. And secondly, you can make MILF's Acid Arrow, yeah. Just do bolts.
It would be MILF. M-I-L-F.
Yeah.
Milf's
Take bolt,
arrow.
instead of a bolt, just say it's a green arrow that slings out and does the poison down. You can do whatever you want with a trapping.
You could call it MILF's Acid Arrow.
You could call it MILF's Acid Arrow. You could call it Dr. Foley's Acid Arrow from the Discombobulator. You can call it whatever you want.
Well, let's bury these bodies. Now, Dave, I don't want to spend a lot of time actually digging up the dirt, but I will move these bodies near the edge, and we'll throw some rocks and stuff on them.
It's in the morning. I mean, it's probably about 8 o'clock in the morning. The sun's now up. You can definitely feel the heat is starting to, it's going to be another hot day out here in the desert. So you guys you're going to have all day. You basically travel at night anyway. So we'll say throughout the day, you work slow at it. There's nothing else. No other travelers wandering through. And you get the French buried. There's a couple nooks and crannies in nearby outcroppings. Pete gets them drug over. Pete's pretty pissed off because it seems like Pete's doing all of the work, while everybody else is kind of blaming old age and being a lady and
I'm too pretty to do this.
Praying to the spirits.
Talking about the white man over there.
So Pete's pretty much done all of the manual labor. Give me a notice check, Pete. Give me a notice check.
You notice that job sucks.
Wow, you unskilled and you still nailed the DC 4. I'm going to give this to you. You actually find a nice silver pocket watch as you're dragging one of these soldiers away, sort of like hidden inside of one of the coats as you're kind of getting a little tired, so now you're like winding the coats up in your hands and pulling them with the coat, and you found this pocket watch and sort of like an inside pocket on the. And yeah, really nice. You probably think it's worth probably about $20 or so. Nice silver pocket watch.
Thanks, Dave. So I'll pick up the pocket watch and I'll slowly walk over to Pappy. And I'll go, Pappy, yay! Look what I found.
What
And
the
I just walk
hell?
away.
1/3 of that's mine, my friend.
I don't think
1/3
so.
of it's mine.
buddy.
Oh shit! Pete, I believe that's my watch. Hold on. Yeah, I believe I dropped it during the fight.
I'll come and get it, Pappy, and I'll drop it right in my pants. If you want it, come and get it.
It ain't worth the money. Nothing's worth going down there.
Oh, and like the Frenchie said,
too good.
I'm smuggling some snakes over the border. So watch out when you put your hand down there.
God. Unbelievable. Too good.
I think it's time to chow down on some rations. Do you have the Franken beans,
Yeah.
Pete? Are you the cooker, Pete?
Sure.
All right.
Are you too tired? Are you
Poor
too
Pete,
old
man,
and
he's the
decrepit
barrier of dead bodies. He's
for
the cook.
to eat?
I can help some, but the smoke from the fire, it really plays with my arthritis. It just, damn, it hurts. And that's my shooting hand. You all gonna need my powers of shooting and stuff. I don't want to get too close to the fire. I don't want to get too
Happy,
dirty.
I thought heat was good for arthritis.
No, you're thinking of something else. This is arthritis. It's like arthritis, but it's not heat. It's cold. It's good for it. Yeah.
I don't.
That's all right, Pat. That's all right, Pappy. You'll go last in line.
I don't believe I've heard of that condition from the east and the East Coast, the finest colleges and universities. Have you ever heard of a condition called arthritis? It apparently is not arthritis. Perhaps you could enlighten us.
Are you talking to Dr. Foley?
Yes.
Oh, you're talking to me about something? What?
What the?
She's probably
I was
playing
just
Ark.
going over this list of. No. I was just going over this list of the inventory that you gave me, trying to make heads and tails of it. As it were.
That wasn't the inventory, dear. That was me. That was me instructing you that you need to take care of that.
If you remember out of character, I think you wrote
I
on the
know.
list a bunch of stuff, a bunch of guns, was it?
It was a bunch of guns.
Yeah, you wrote on the list a bunch of guns.
Yeah, I said a bunch of guns, which means you need to go and you need to clarify that. But no, what I was asking is about, Pappy's complaining about his arthritis. As a doctor, perhaps you might be able to assist him and enlighten us about such disorders. Apparently, he is not able to do anything with all of his health conditions.
Yes. I know of this condition. I believe it is fatal. I probably has about 3 days to live, but that's okay. He will live a very happy life during that time. It's not extremely painful.
How long did you say he had to live?
A few days, I think.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Doctor, maybe.
But that should be
Is
enough
there any-
time to complete our task. So you are still quite welcome to join my group. Of course.
Doctor, you sure you don't want me to put him down early? Let him, so he doesn't have to suffer?
Oh no. It's best if they live a full and fruitful life.
You guys see a couple handouts that I've given you of pretty much of the desert as you're traveling through. Well, you're not traveling as during the day. A couple clouds rumble by. You could see the rain off into the distance. You're safe. You don't get wet. Just a little bit of scenery for you. Nothing, like I said, nothing happens during the day. And as night starts to fall, some more beautiful images I'm going to share of the desert. I like this kind of stuff.
Man,
the
look at
desert
those
is beautiful.
stars. There must be hundreds of them.
Yeah, you can see the Milky Way in the night sky. Because there's literally no lights at this time, and back then, before industrialization and civilization cropped in everywhere, you could see all of this type of landscape. I mean, that's how the Aztecs and the Mayans and everyone else studying the stars were able to see
Back
all
then,
this,
the only
because
ships you saw in the
yeah.
sky were alien spaceships.
yeah,
right,
the
yeah.
ancient aliens as they visited. I mean, it's real. It's on the History Channel. I mean, it's got to be real.
Yep.
So
Well, Dave, if you go to Wyoming or Montana or whatever, you'll see the sky still looks like that. It's still beautiful like that.
yeah.
No light pollution, no smog. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you don't see cities in Wyoming or Montana. I mean, like skyscrapers.
Here's everybody rustled around the fire with your wagon, without the child there.
Is that Pappy's baby?
That's my babies.
That's Pappy. The Pappy.
Those are my babies.
Where'd your babies come from? Out of nowhere, Pappy.
Now, don't make me tell you where babies come from. I ain't ready to give that talk yet.
So basically,
I thought your baby making days was long past.
No.
Kid, he was
I'll
messing
tell you
with
right
one of them
now.
horses again.
I'll tell you right now, Kit, if you're wanting to have a turn, I'll give you a little what for.
I'm pretty sure you'll be, what do they call it, shooting blanks by now at your age?
oh my God.
Well, yeah, if I am shooting blanks, it's going to be coming out of an awful big gun.
Where do you think all this sand came from we're standing on?
Oh my gosh. So as the nightfall, comes, you guys pull your camp up. You travel throughout the night. You had a great night of traveling. You're able to get really close to your destination. The next day comes, uneventful, and as you're traveling, basically the only encounters you had were with the Mexican army and the legionnaires. So you're going through this mountainous desert. It's unpopulated. You can see off there's maybe a couple small Indian tribes off in their villages, maybe a few settlers as well. And you guys make it pretty much all the way to your destination, which is, anybody remember what your destination was?
I had everything typed into the thing, and then it went away. To the notes.
I
Oh,
can tell
hold
you
on,
if
I
that
might
map
have
was
it.
up. It's
Yeah.
probably with
There's nothing in there in the notes. See, because there was so much stuff in there, it just didn't save it. So, my apologies on that.
It's all right.
Remember, you guys were going to an old Spanish mission.
That's right. Yes, I remember that.
Remember the old?
The-
Yeah,
the
the
ruins
old. Yep,
south of Canania.
yep.
whatever.
That's it. Yep. Let me get you the
Map to the ruins. It's
the
there
map
in
back
our
up,
images.
yeah.
But
Yep.
we're now in Mexico now, right?
You're in Mexico after the first day. Yeah. So here's the map to the ruins. I'll share it with everybody. So you guys left Tombstone, came south. Cananea, you avoided that. You know that there was a pretty big French contingency there, and actually this French contingency usually goes north across the border, and you guys knew this anyway, that they were hitting small silver villages and silver mining areas and communities, gold mining communities, basically robbing just north of the border, and then they come back down to Mexico to hide. So, but of course, we did that as well and raided Mexico and then came back up to the back up to the States. So, well, the territories at this time. So here you guys are down here at the ruins. You guys can see you're about. This is. You actually traveled during the I think it's basically during the early mornings. You guys are so close, you decided to go ahead and travel and try to get there. So you guys were able to make it to the mission. So as you guys get to the mission, I'm going to close a couple of these windows out really quick. Keep the map up for you. You guys know how to, if you shrink the box of the map, that little button in the lower right hand corner, that little red 4 arrow, that's sort of like a dragger where you can kind of drag the map around so you can look. Because if you try to drag it around, it just kind of drags the whole box around. But you can actually, it's sort of like a map viewer. So, all right. So as you guys get to the mission, you guys can see this off in the distance. It's an old wore-out building. It's definitely seen better times. And time has reduced this old Spanish mission to pretty much nothing more than a pile of adobe brick walls, and it's surrounding what it looks to be a large courtyard in the middle of these piles of rubble and whatever walls left are standing. Then you can see several gaps that are in between the walls that have basically fallen over time, and you can see old piles of wood planks, sort of where the roof once was, on the sides as well. There's no other remaining structures around. One corner of the missionary has a semi-intact roof, but it looks like it was probably thrown there within the last probably several years or so, basically just to escape the hot Mexican sun, but it's not like the whole roof is there anymore. So you guys see what it looks like. There's also a well. As you guys get closer to the mission, you guys can see that on one side you can see that there's a well that's sitting in the middle of this courtyard, and there's a couple wooden beams that are across the top of it.
So we don't want to get the wagon too close, do we, you guys?
This is where we're meeting our contact, correct?
Yeah. Do we want to just drive the wagon there with everything in there, just in case it's a trap?
Yeah, maybe someone should scout ahead and make sure the place hasn't been compromised by soldiers.
Well, I would scout ahead, but I'm driving a
Oh,
darn.
never mind, Happy. I will do it.
Right. I appreciate, because my back, and I've been just riding all morning and night.
Happy,
and stuff.
shut it.
No,
Shut
I'm
it. You don't gotta
starting.
go.
Oh no, there's a snake in his boot.
Yeehaw! There's a
think,
snake in my boat.
Tamaka and Kit can go together.
Yes, I shall take the white woman here and pray to the spirit lords that we will come back to all of you great white folks. Thank you for the thank you. Yes. I can't do it. So
And my loincloth is growing.
so Ultimoka,
Chicken TB.
he starts to use the high foliage and the high grass as advantage, and y'all actually almost lose him a couple times. Kit, he's pretty good maneuvering. You guys are up to the edge of the ruins. You can see that there's other foundations where buildings used to be, other smaller buildings around the main missionary building, but there's nothing left of those. You can see the well. You can see where there's the makeshift roof on one side of the missionary, and you can see that there's what appears like sleeping provisions, like blankets and stuff. Some things that are kind of hanging up, but there's a couple. Sure.
I wanted to make sure that I have my rifle on my lap. Just in case, somebody needs some help, a little bit of marksmanship.
Gotcha. All right, so you got your weapon drawn. Gotcha.
Something you lack. But anyway, go ahead.
So, as for spell points, how many do you get back an hour, Dr. Folly? Is it per hour or is it per day? That's something we'll have to worry about that later. So
Yeah, I remember what it was. I have to look it up again.
I think it's 1d6 or something like that a day, maybe something like that. But like I said, you see some pillows, well, hay, basically bags stuffed with hay, a couple extinguished campfire, and you can actually smell what probably an old fire as you kind of make your way inside the rooms. And just at this time, everybody starts to hear a rumbling sound, and this rumbling sound just gets louder and louder and louder and louder, and this is going on for about 20 to 30 seconds. So is anyone doing anything during this 20-30 seconds?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
everybody, like, can we hear it?
Oh, absolutely,
people
yeah.
before it, we all
Yeah.
hear it.
Oh yeah.
What type of sound
Yeah,
again?
it's a rumbling sound, and you can actually see, through the desert, you can actually see that there is a very massive a very massive cloud of dust that is coming right to the mission. And after
Bunch of
about 30
horses.
seconds, after 30 seconds, you can see that there are a lot of basically Mexicans on horseback.
I get out my walkie-talkie and I go, Tomica! No, I'm just kidding.
One talkers? Are you talking about one from that movie with Nicolas Cage?
Well, Kit is definitely using all of her stealthy ability to conceal herself and try to get into a position where she can observe what's going on without being seen.
Okay, yeah, and Tomoko joins you doing that as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
go
you
ahead and
guys.
jump off. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Dave.
no, go for it. No, go for
Yeah,
it.
Pappy's just gonna jump off and get to some shrubbery next to the wagon somewhere. I don't want to stray too too far from the wagon, but I want to get to where there's a little bit of cover, and I'm gonna prop my trusty Winchester up on a rock just in case I need to
Okay.
take shoot some cans.
Pissed off Pete, you okay over there, bud? So the aliens coming for you?
Thought I saw a fly or some shit fly by my face.
I make a statement as everyone's doing this.
Sure, Dr. Folly.
So I guess those other guys, before you all killed them, has gotten word that I was here. Looks like there are more people coming to see me. You don't need to be afraid. I will talk to them. It will be fine.
Don't the need to
Surely,
be. I love
They
it.
will not get as angry as the other guys did.
I like that, Dr.
And I
Folly.
stay seated on the wagon.
Okay,
Oh.
you stay seated on the wagon. Pissed off
Oh
Pete?
hell, Dr.
Are you
Folly,
staying on your horseback? Are you staying on your horse as well, or?
I am, and I
Okay.
lean over to the doctor. I go, more fans?
And Pappy's always talking about his back being hurting, but he seemed to scoot off that wagon pretty damn good.
Yeah,
He
I
seemed
kinda
like
did-
agile like a cat, man, jumping off of that wagon.
Exactly. I kind of did a little bit of a cartwheel, and then I back arced into there, just like a dream.
Your face recognition's working on that clock, bud, Pappy.
But yeah, what the hell? In my day, we didn't use face recognition. Hey guys, I see you right there.
It's an old grandfather clock. I think it's him.
So yes, about 30 to 40 of these Mexicans are on horseback. This is pretty much what they would look like. Just a bunch of Mexicans on horseback. Big hats, a bunch of bandoliers, broken
love it.
broken
and ears.
cigars. Yeah, a bunch of these guys have ears and fingers that they're wearing.
Banditos.
Looks like they're geared pretty well. Lots of but their bandoliers seem a little light. They're missing their rounds, but after they're starting to kind of circle the wagons of I guess you could say they're circling the wagon.
Oh, they
And-
came to us. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you're feeling a little. How would you feel about this, Dr. Fall, as you start to see 30 to 40 of these Mexicans starting to circle the wagon?
I'm getting a little anxious. I'm not
Yeah.
sure how to deal with large groups of people like this, especially fans.
She gets her Sharpie out. Gets ready for sign autographs.
Pissed off Pete? Yeah, you think this could probably end pretty badly.
Oh, I know what's going on. I sort of swing my horse over closer to the wagon, and I off. Oh, whoa, oh now.
Oh, now,
Oh,
boy.
girl, come on.
So, after a couple of these tense moments, you guys are fully encircled, and